This chapter was, expected. Finally, after 4 chapters in a row of unexpectedness, Kyrian is back in the picture. Granted, while I was reading this though, I kept double taking if it was actually Kyrian or not. Chapter 57, titled Inconvenient Interference, is out for everyone on August 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't use coins for FastPass, you gotta wait a bit before coming back to this video. This is your only spoiler warning. Also gotta put the disclaimer to not discuss anything from the Picardo streams in the comment section down below. Don't comment that. Another announcement, the r/Purple Hyacinth subreddit is now restricted, so there will be no new posts, but you can still view all the theories and stuff that were discussed, as there is another subreddit, r/Purple Hyacinth webtoon, that predates us. So thank you for everyone that joined the Reddit, but it's better not to split the exposure and the traffic over 2 different entities. So if you haven't already joined the webtoon subreddit, I'll have the link down below. Also, I will have my first of many theory videos for season 2. The first one will be dropping tied to chapter 53 and Kim Liddell. That's right, another character analysis finally. The last one I did was on Harvey Wood. So this one will be dropping on Thursday, so look out for it. And I'll have another one about symbols, which will be tied to chapter 54 for next week. So my question for this week is, why are both Lauren and Kyrian in ninja-esque attire? Where do you think they got this from? Now, let's begin. So we know that the messengers are very evasive, as Anslo in Chapter 22 once tried to follow one. The messenger basically appeared and disappeared, which we see happen here at the beginning of this chapter. Maybe it's because Lauren had those big old headphones on, but I think there's something behind this detail. I don't think we have enough evidence to draw any real conclusions here though. We see the round table, and since we've already met every single one of these characters before in the story, it's not as big of a character reveal wise, but the content itself is very important. The stakes are higher as both parties, Loon and the Seventh's crew, have death hanging over them, with one small mistake that could lead to big consequences, which is exciting to see as there's tension spread to everyone. This kind of reminds me of chapter 2 when we first get introduced of the Phantom Scythe, and we have those those hands overarching the royal family, and now those same hands are overarching the Seventh's crew and Loon. The leader is a separate entity, which we already knew, and we get that a little confirmed that he does use the Purple Hyacinth as a power play, which I mentioned in a previous chapter review, that the Purple Hyacinth was both a threat to the royalty and the Seventh, because it was a pretty ballsy request for Kyrian to go complete by climbing up 15 floors of the tower and assassinate all the Loon convicts. I want to believe that Lauren's lie detection doesn't work here because she's listening through a device and not hearing the raw sounds, because I don't think that these people would be this honest to each other, especially Belladonna, because she kind of confirms the suspicion that the 7th messenger, or Messenger 7, has, that the leader suspects more from this group. A sunny night can be taken in 2 ways. One would be a literal sunny night, which can happen in places like Texas or some parts of Europe where the sun is still out at 9 p.m. I think the authors were going for more of a oxymoron here as something that's not possible. That the 7th is waiting forever, just like the leader, for his plan to overthrow both the royalty and the leader here. What's interesting is that using this phrase, which is similar to once in a blue moon, that would have usually been used here, but sunny night has a bigger impression, especially with the context of those words in this story. Sunny, soleil, night, loon. Could this be foreshadowing that the 7th was waiting for a group to start undermining the Phantom Scythe to act? Or that soleil and loon will play a big major role in this coup d'etat? Why is the 7th waiting for some assets before starting this rebellion? What is he really waiting for? I wanted to originally think that it was the vial that Shhkksh brought the first batch of, but that was already here before the Messenger 7 makes this comment in this chapter. So I guess there's something else that the 7th's waiting for. Maybe it's Radcliffe's undeniable assistance, as potentially Radcliffe is on the fence. I mean, there's too many questions. I don't really know. Belladonna makes a clear point here that I guess only she can make, because she knows both the 7th and the leader personally. If we believe that Lauren can detect lies through her device, then this would confirm that the leader himself does believe in the rhetoric that he talks about equality for all, which will make a lot more sense why there's a big delay to set all these pieces in motion, while the 7th wants more power, so he seems to be brute forcing his way. And this could be all just a setup because, I mean, of course, meticulous planning generally outperforms just brute forcing. Is this just a setup for the 7th to fail? But does that mean that the group will actually fail? Like the vial from Shhkksh that was thrown into the end of a chapter when we meet the cigar chick, what was the purpose of adding those panels back then in season 1? We already had prior panels in chapter 44 when Shhkksh arrives into the city, and the cigar chick hasn't really done anything of value, so it wouldn't have been the end of the world if she was introduced for the first time here in the Camellia. So I guess the purpose is centered around what this vial is. What if that's the reason that the 7th is actually successful and makes the leader take action? It was just a little odd that maybe this entire setup is to subvert our expectations so that the 7th will actually succeed partially in his coup d'etat. Either taking out the leader, I don't think he'll take out the leader, but maybe take out or kidnap the kid of the royalty, which we don't have a name for. At the end of my chapter 55 review, I made a prediction that the other vase, or vase? Is it vase? Vase? One of those. In room 16 contains Kieran's bug, which is, I mean, great that I was right. They both interfere with each other, forcing them to come together, which I thought was a cool way to bring Loon back into action, compared to, in my mind, it was just one of them spots the other. So this was a really nice way to tie in the narrative together. This does mean that these listening devices that we thought were only exclusive for the police department, because Lauren had it, could be more accessible to people, or maybe Kieran just got it from the black market. The shuriken and the small knives would look awesome animated for this fight scene, as it fits really well with the exotic theme of the Camellia. But I guess my question is still, why wear these outfits here and now when they were shown to wear something completely different in the other infiltration/interrogation missions? I mean, I like that they still covered their lower part of their faces with the masks, but why the hood and why the ninja-esque getup? I thought that the goons that Blakesley hired was from the Chinatown district, and since their outfits are somewhat similar to what Loon is wearing in Camellia, does those workers at this restaurant have a side job or side hustle as mercenaries for hire? A great chapter, like always. I wonder what Loon will plan to do next, since the easy answer is for one of them just to turn off their device and they share one headset between themselves. But the more exciting option would be to get closer to this meeting, that is if this meeting will even continue for the next couple of chapters, since we have no idea how long we will be at the Camellia. That's all for the video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to heart the chapter on Webtoons when you finish reading and comment to be a part of the community. If you get a chance, subscribe to get access to these videos every week. My social media can be found by searching Inspirational on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Shout out to my designer. You can find his work on Instagram at JadenV_photography. See you all next time.